Someone's leaving notes threatening to euthanize stray cats in a Joplin neighborhood, and now police are involved. A local health official provides a refresher in COVID-19 safety precautions ahead of Easter weekend.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Some Joplin residents are concerned for their pets' welfare after getting letters overnight. This is KOAM News at 6. Several Joplin residents found letters on their property threatening to kill stray cats. Now the police are involved. KOAM's Zach Dodge joins us live with details.
People in the Gray neighborhood are on edge today as police look for who's responsible for the letters. The letters start by saying that cat owners should respect their neighbors by keeping them on their property, and goes on to say that any stray feral cat captured in the neighborhood will be euthanized starting January 1st. The letter does not say who it's from, and security camera video shows them being put up overnight. Joplin police went to the neighborhood today as part of their investigation.
That's a sick thing that somebody would do anything like that. You know, it's just sick.
You know, the older ones got to go outside. They're not going to be going outside. We're considering building an outdoor area for them where they would be confined, where they can still enjoy the outdoors.
Residents in the neighborhood have put together a roughly $2,000 reward, and the Joplin Police Department asks that anyone with information contact them. Reporting live in Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Zach, thanks. U.S. Marshals arrest a murder suspect who was released from jail due to a Supreme Court ruling on tribal jurisdiction. The suspect is Dakota Buzzard. Authorities arrested him today in Grove, Oklahoma. Authorities are still searching for his father, James Buzzard. The two are accused in the 2019 shooting death of Jerry Tapp at a home near Grove. They were in jail until earlier this month when they were released because neither federal nor tribal prosecution had refiled paperwork after the 2020 Supreme Court ruling that said Oklahoma prosecutors lack authority to pursue criminal charges against indigenous defendants. McDonald County, Missouri authorities are investigating how an argument led to a man getting shot with his own gun. Deputies were called to Powell, Missouri to investigate a disturbance yesterday afternoon. They say a group of people had been arguing about a mobile home when Rick Thurston began firing a pistol. Investigators say several people grabbed Thurston and the gun fired, striking Thurston. He went to another home where he called 911. At last report, Thurston was getting treatment at a Joplin hospital. The Parsons, Kansas Police Department says the victim of a hit and run in December has a long and arduous road to recovery in front of him. Happened on 35th Street in Parsons on December 19th. Authorities say the victim, Andrew Scott, was hit and left by the road. A passerby found Scott and alerted authorities. Police are still looking for the person who hit Scott. If you have information, you're encouraged to contact Parsons Police. Checking in with Doug Hetty now. A bit cooler out there today, Doug.
It is. I mean, especially over the past 3 or 4 hours after a cold front rolled through. We did go into the upper 60s earlier today, and then the cold front passed through, and now most of us are sitting into the 50s. And also, you can see a pretty good cloud deck along and south of the I-44 corridor, where a few random showers may pop up throughout the evening hours. Right now, most of us are dry. Not too much is going on out there, except we are cooling down. We have this north wind kicking in at about 10 to 15, and the winds are going to increase a little bit as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. We'll drop back through the 50s, down into the 40s, and then eventually upper 30s. We do have a chance for a few showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, so we're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then. Thanks, Doug. Local health providers are offering more chances to get a COVID-19 vaccine. In Pittsburgh tomorrow, there will be a clinic at the Lincoln Center. It's by appointment only. There is no appointment required for another clinic tomorrow at the Crawford County Fairgrounds. On Thursday, the Community Health Center of SEK is holding a no appointment clinic across from Lord's Diner in Pittsburgh. And then on Friday, Labette Health is holding a clinic at the Parsons Family Practice. For more information on these clinics and other clinics in the area, go to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com/vaccine. Easter is this weekend, and many local churches and organizations are planning Easter egg hunts and Easter worship services. With those events comes the opportunity for people to get together indoors and out. Health officials say despite vaccines being distributed, it's still a good idea to play it safe.
The younger age you are, the less at risk you are. And so those folks, those young children who want to partake in Easter egg hunts, I think that will be perfectly fine. Parents might want to stay out of large crowds if they have not been immunized. Wear the mask, try to social distance.
Gardner emphasizes that if you attend an event or church service indoors, you should practice social distancing and wear a mask. Just a few weeks after announcing a new air service provider, the Joplin Regional Airport announces there will be a third destination added as well. KOAM's Chris Warner is live at the Joplin Airport with the latest.
Well, back at the beginning of March, officials with the Joplin Regional Airport announced that a new carrier, SkyWest, would be providing service to the airport through United Airlines. Now, the announcement came after American Airlines said it would no longer be providing service to the airport by the end of May. The airport said that while Dallas flights would no longer be offered, flights to Chicago and Denver would be available. Today, officials announced that Houston has been added as a third hub for travelers.
It's going to be a change, and don't get me wrong, the last 11 years have been wonderful. American Airlines has provided a fantastic service, and we're very grateful for that. But this is the next step, and this is the next opportunity to expand our horizons.
The new air service and flights begin on June 1st. Stockham says you can begin booking those flights as early as April 6th. Reporting live from the Joplin Regional Airport, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Chris, thanks. Still ahead, the Carl Junction School District asks voters to approve a bond to make repairs to schools in the district, and an early taste of school life for future kindergartners in Pittsburgh. Carl Junction School District asks voters to approve a $7 million school bond issue. If approved, the bond would pay for safety and security improvements at Carl Junction schools. It would also pay to replace roofs, windows, lighting, and upgrade the HVAC systems.
This bond issue would mature in 2034, so it would pay off that current debt 4 years earlier, which is 4 years of not paying interest on that. And it also frees up about $265,000 a year that we're currently using to pay that lease purchase, and it can be used for anything else in the district to help kids.
The district says the bond would not increase taxes, but it would extend the existing levy, which is about 98 cents per $100 of assessed value for real estate and personal property. Pittsburgh schools today hosted a kindergarten roundup. It's a chance for kids to get in, meet with their teachers, and learn what kindergarten will be like before their first day in class. After what's been a strange year for all of us, kids like Hayes Bolware are pretty excited.
We're playing with my friends and sharing toys with my friends. And, well, I really like playing with my friends.
Well said. The kids also went through some pre-kindergarten testing. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast, and later trans advocates across the country stand against legislation heading to the Arkansas governor's desk. It would ban reassignment surgeries for kids under 18.
KOAM TV.
Well, it definitely turned out to be kind of a gloomy afternoon into the evening hours after not a bad morning. We saw partly sunny skies, and we did warm up into the mid to upper 60s across the region. Then a cold front dropped in. Once that cold front hit, our temperatures started to drop off, but still a pretty good day, 67 for an afternoon high. And of course, March, we got one more day of March, and then we roll into April, believe it or not. You can see 3/4 of the month has really been above average. Allergies, super high on a scale of 1 to 10. Today's a 10, tomorrow's a 10. Again, this is mainly the tree allergies, juniper, elm, maple, that are very high, and these are going to stay fairly high until we get a nice soaking, a widespread rain to kind of wash out the atmosphere. Temps are dropping back, kind of chilly. We're at 55 in Iola, 59 in Welch. We have 57 in Neosho, Anderson, one of the warmer spots at 60. But everybody's going to drop back for us tonight due to the colder air that has been pushing in. So you can see these north winds now. The front's all the way down in northwestern parts of Arkansas, but the winds are picking up just a little bit. So we have these north winds at about 10 upwards to 20, and then every now and then we're getting gusts a little bit higher than that. But it is going to be kind of breezy for us tonight. Solid deck of clouds out there. Cloudy skies currently sitting at 58. North winds at about 10. Humidity is at 46%. We'll slide back through the 50s, eventually into the 40s. Kind of cold tonight, all the way down into the upper 30s for overnight lows. And you can see that cloud deck right along the I-44 corridor and south. And as we go through the evening hours, we may pick up a few sprinkles, a random shower or two. And again, this is mainly going to be along and south of Interstate 44. But most of us are dry right now. There looks like there's a few little sprinkles out toward Lockwood, but all the heavier rain out across the Mississippi River Valley. However, if you look back toward the west, you can see a few showers western parts of Kansas. That's a weak little wave on the backside of this system that will affect us by tomorrow morning. So that means clouds will start to increase again for us tonight when they do start to break up a bit. And we may get a random shower or two in here late tonight into the morning hours. This will mainly be in our southern counties, but don't be surprised if you see a few random showers. Temperatures quite a bit cooler. We're going to wake up in the morning sitting into the upper 30s. As we go through the day, temperatures will slowly warm up through the 40s. We should be near 50 by noon, then a high temp right around 54, which is below our average high for this time of the year and quite a bit cooler than what we have seen over the past couple days. But the afternoon looks okay. Now tomorrow night, we're going to drop back into the upper 20s. So we're going to have most likely a freeze warning in effect. So we're going to have to watch those plants and then, of course, the trees that are budding across the region. Friday looks good. Saturday looks good. Easter Sunday, we may get a few random showers in here, but I still think most of Easter Sunday looks pretty good. Our temperature is going to be fantastic. We'll start the day at 48, 64 by noon. And look at this, high temperature near 70 degrees on Easter Sunday. 54 tomorrow, 54 again on Thursday. 62 Friday, 67 by Saturday, near 70 by Easter Sunday. Better chances for showers and thunderstorms, and also a severe threat will return next week.
And I guess we have to decide whether to bring the plants back inside before tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, it's probably a pretty good bet.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the verdicts for 3 St. Louis police officers accused of beating an undercover officer during protests. The verdicts are in the case of 3 St. Louis police officers accused of beating a colleague. That colleague, fellow officer, was working undercover as a protester in 2017. There were no convictions for the officers accused of assaulting Luther Hall. Jurors found Officer Stephen Corte, still with the police department, was not guilty on both charges of deprivation of civil rights and lying to the FBI. But former Officer Dustin Boone's charge, deprivation of civil rights, was ruled a mistrial. Former Officer Christopher Myers was acquitted of the same deprivation count, but jurors couldn't agree on whether he destroyed evidence. That charge, too, was ruled a mistrial.
We're thrilled. We never believed for a second that Mr. Myers was involved in the deprivation of civil rights of Luther Hall or anyone else.
And today, a jury that was comprised of mostly white males and white women made a decision, ignored evidence, and we're left to settle with that.
It's unclear if prosecutors will retry Boone and Myers on the charges that jurors couldn't agree on. A bill banning gender reassignment surgery and hormonal treatments for trans youth until they turn 18 passed the Arkansas Senate. The bill has already cleared the state house and now heads to the governor. Meanwhile, trans advocates are pushing back. Reporter Kendall Ashman has that story.
My son will be devastated if he is forced to stop his hormone treatment.
Joanna Brandt, along with other LGBTQ advocates and the American Academy of Pediatrics board president, spoke out against House Bill 1570 during a Zoom session today. Among the speakers was actress Laverne Cox.
Any decisions about the health care of trans youth should be made between that transgender young person, their parent, and their doctor. The government has no place in these decisions.
It's called the Arkansas Save Adolescents from Experimentation SAFE Act. The bill bans doctors from providing gender transition procedures, hormonal treatment, and referrals for procedures and treatments.
This basically says, let's get them to 18 and then let them make a decision.
Sponsor of this bill, Representative Lundstrom, says this bill aims to protect children.
These kids deserve to be protected and loved and cherished. And let's let them get to 18 before they make a serious decision that they can't take back.
Evelyn Rios Stafford, who says she's the first trans woman to work as an elected official in Arkansas, says the bill is one of the most extreme bans against trans people in the country and sends a negative message to LGBTQ Arkansans.
We are talking about, a small number of youth, but an important number of youth. All of the youth in our state matter.
I'm passionate about protecting children. This is life altering. They need to get to be 18 before they make a life-changing decision.
Governor Asa Hutchinson has not said whether he'll sign that bill. The National ACLU said in the Zoom session if he does sign it, they'll file a lawsuit. What would you do if you found a massive sum of cash, like $42,000? Well, a Goodwill employee in Oklahoma made sure it was returned to its owner. Andrea Lessing was sorting through a pile of donations when she felt something odd between a couple of sweaters. It was stacks of cash totaling, $42,000. Instead of keeping that money, she had Goodwill track down the owner. Lessing says she wanted her 6-year-old daughter to see the importance of honesty. As a reward, the owner of the lost cash let Lessing keep $1,000. Goodwill says it was one of the largest cash finds at any of its locations. Final check on the weather is next.
This right here.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant Gary Groves. The Columbus, Kansas native served in the U.S. Air Force, and we are proud to salute Sergeant Gary Groves. He's tonight's four-state hero. An incredible international rescue is coming full circle. Now, back in February, a little dog was stuck on a patch of ice in the Detroit River. 4 days with no food, below freezing temps, and under the threat of coyotes. Yet somehow the dog, dubbed Miracle, survived. He's been living at the Friends of the River Rouge Animal Shelter ever since, and now Miracle has a new home with the guy who saved his life. Jude Mead lives across the Detroit River in Canada. He crossed the icy river on an airboat to bring the dog to safety. Jordan Abe joins us now with a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, we're going to have more on Joplin police investigating flyers placed at several homes warning people that loose cats will be euthanized. Plus, the pandemic is forcing kids to stay at home with fewer chances for professionals to notice potential child abuse. Also, day 2 of the George Floyd murder trial. That, of course, much more coming away tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Let's check back with Doug now for a final look at the weather.
All right, Dow, it's going to be a chilly evening, and don't be surprised if there's a random shower or two. Eventually, we'll drop back to about 38. A few random showers tomorrow morning and then sunshine by the afternoon, but it's going to be chilly, 54, down to 29 tomorrow night. So we may have a freeze issue, especially because we are now into the spring months.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 9 on Fox 14. We'll see you right here at 10 on KOAM. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
If you see news happening